There's one huge problem with Spotify Wrapped, and no, it's not that people use it to define their personality, and that's not a dig because I'm guilty. Something you see every year with Wrapped is people saying stuff like, "What the heck, this is not even accurate," or "Oh my god, I didn't even mean to listen to that much," or "This is so embarrassing, I'm humbled." But honestly, I think that's more on Spotify than it is on you. Let me explain. There are certain environments for certain kinds of music, right? So let's say you're at the gym and you're playing pop to stay upbeat and focused, but then when you get aux at a party, you're playing a lot of rap. But then when you're home alone and you're actually dedicating time to finding new music, it's maybe indie or classical. Don't worry, we're not gonna go through my Wrapped, but let's take a look at it just to see why that matters. Harry Styles made his way quite solidly into my top 5 this year. As someone who works out a lot and has their best workouts to energetic pop or dancey stuff, this makes sense. But when I'm going to the gym for 90 minutes a day, I'm not looking for new music. I know I'm not. I have extreme bias toward putting on the music that's gonna provide the best workout, and this year, that happened to be Harry Styles. So now that you know this context, I think you'll agree with me when I say my Wrapped doesn't mean that Harry Styles was my favorite artist of 2022. My Wrapped means I went to the gym a lot, which is good. It's not a flex, I'm just demonstrating a point here. The way Spotify has chosen to present Wrapped to me says, hey, we logged everything you did and this is what you did a lot of. But I don't think quantity is a stat that matters too much when we're talking about your relationship with music. I think more interesting insights would be stuff like, what new genres or artists did you get a hold of this year? Or where did you overlap with friends? Or what time of day you listen to certain music? Or what places you listen to certain music in? I know it would be kind of invasive if Spotify did this, but they could just ask you before a session like, hey, are you on a run or are you working out? And maybe there's a mode to more easily change songs. They already do it for driving your car, so why not have like an activity profile where you can pick what you're doing? Or better yet, you can rate albums instead of just liking them. Like maybe if you rate an album 5 stars, even if you play it less, it still has a higher chance of coming up in your top 5 because now it's weighted higher. The whole point I'm trying to illustrate here is that the music we listen to most isn't necessarily our favorite music. And I know that sounds weird, but it's true. I think quantity stats tell me way more about your lifestyle than it does about your taste in music. And I bet you Spotify already knows that and is kind of, maybe dishing out that data for some bucks. Quantity stats might have more weight in my eyes if they gave you guidance on where to go next. Like, oh, here are some new niches we think you'd enjoy. The best you'll get of that right now is Discover weekly or daily mixes, and even those are kind of hit or miss because they're pulling from recent data, not larger trends. Quantity stats could also be cool if they spanned multiple years. If they were like, listen, over the last 5 years, we noticed you've been listening to a lot less emo music. Are you happier now? And that's kind of funny. And you might be like, yeah, I have been listening to a lot less emo music and I'm happier. Thanks, Spotify. That's a way better stat than like, hey, you listened to 100,000 minutes of music this year and a lot of it was Drake. Like, what does that really say? I'll close with this. Some jazz made it into my Wrapped this year. And you know when I listen to jazz? On long car rides home from spending a good night out with some college friends. Jazz on my Wrapped doesn't make me a jazz head. It never did and it never will. Jazz on my Wrapped this year means I kept in touch with people that mean a lot to me. And I think that's the beautiful part of our relationship with music that Wrapped misses every year. If you like this video, check out this one where I explain why people hate Anthony Fantano.